Hey guys, it's Campton Plays. Today I'm going to be playing some core. I'm going to start off in the training grounds just to show some basic combos, warm up a bit, just basic little things. For the training grounds, if you want to practice efficiently, there are a few settings that it'd be wise to change. So if you go into the settings in the top left, if you go over the bot settings, if you go down here to damage and position reset, make sure they're both on, and make sure the reset is when grounded, not timed. So that pretty much whenever you knock it out of position, as long as it gets back on the floor, it will go back into its starting position. Now, as for some basic hammer combos, first there's the side square, down square, up square. Then there's the aerial the aerial down square, aerial side square, aerial up square. Then there's the recovery and the ground pound. Now, one of my favorite combos on hammer would be first starting with the down square like so, and from the down square you're going to want to chase dodge into a aerial down square. And chase dodge is whenever you do an attack straight after, if you dodge it gives you a chase dodge. Okay, so straight after, if you dodge it'll give you a chase dodge. So you want to do the down square, chase dodge into an aerial down square, and then obviously, as you can tell, I'm just mucking about a bit, but you would do down square, chase dodge, down square. Alternatively, you can do side square, down square, and then you can jump and do a down square. Obviously, they're not uniform combos. A lot of hammer is just do what you feel and hope it works. But other than that, I like the up square, and then you chase dodge behind them for the side square, and then you can go into a grab from there. Now, I'm going to switch over to some friendly twos. As I'm playing, I'm going to try and describe what I'm doing as best as possible. I'll try and give you some tips, hints and tricks to help with those early stages of progression. So yeah, we'll move over now. I find that friendly twos is a really good way to practice, because there isn't any win, any loss. You're not wasting anything by doing a friendly two, and you don't gain or lose anything. As you can see, I've got quite a few colours. Unfortunately, I don't have any skins, but we'll just hop right in. I would say I'm a lot more confident in hammer than I am gauntlets, but I found both weapons pretty fun. So core is one of my favourite characters at the moment. So straight away we've got Vivian and Red Raptor, two of which characters that are very much known for their spamming. And if they do spam, I'll hopefully be able to teach you a couple of things in order to avoid getting constantly hit by those annoying signatures. And when you start up, the first thing you want is just to get a weapon as soon as possible. Now, as you can see off the edge there, the Vivi was trying to keep me off edge and control the edge at the same time. So all I did was wait for a free moment to just get up and attack her. And that free moment can come really at any time, so you've got to be quite aware when you're off edge. Now, as you can see, I just dodged through that Vivi's ground pound. That's not actually as hard to do as you may think. You just need to basically watch for when they jump down, because if they jump down, you can almost guarantee they're going to go for that ground pound. And from there, it's just as simple as, pressing the dodge button. And that can either be bound to R2, or if you want to go into your settings, you can change the binding. Okay, I'm dead. As you can see, like I said would happen, the Red Raptor is spamming quite a bit. So the easiest way to avoid this is just to try and hug the air as much as possible, and really look for those opportunities to come out and attack them. Now, if you're in the air for too long, that gets a bit predictable, and eventually you will just end up getting hit anyway. pardon me. No, Red Raptor's finally dead. Okay. I went up far too quickly from off edge there. Now, as I'm sure you know if you play this game already, there are going to be quite a few toxic people in this game. You need to do your absolute best to prevent that from affecting you, because if you let it affect you, you will struggle a lot on this game. But really, I'm honestly just playing this game for the sake of playing it. There's no actual chance that I win here. And like I said, the Red Raptor is spamming, so best way to avoid getting spammed and, you know, being hit by those signatures constantly is, like I said, just hugging the air, making as much room as you possibly can wherever you can. Obviously easier said than done, especially if you're in a 2v1, but, you know, the more you get used to making that space, the easier it'll be. And if you lose, like I say, it's funny too. You know, you're not losing anything, there's nothing to gain either, so you're really not missing out much. So we'll hop straight into the next one. This time I'll try to give more of a step-by-step in terms of my attacks and why I'm doing them. Obviously it's not going to be perfect, I am in the middle of the game, so I will miss a couple of things here and there. Anything that I do miss, you are free to ask any questions you may have in the comments, if you have any. So, Queen Nai and Yumiko, both characters have a lot of spiking potential, and basically what that means is their Sig can just throw you into the abyss if you get close to the edge. So I'm going to want to hold onto, you know, the ground as much as I possibly can. Now I've just been hit by 2 attacks that I really didn't need to be hit by, and that's mainly just because I was, yeah, I'm acting way too quickly right now. I'm getting way too angsty. Sometimes in this game you just need to remind yourself to calm down a bit. And obviously, easier said than done. But as you can see with the Yumiko, I'm really trying to avoid her getting below me, and I'm trying to get below her myself. Because if you let somebody with hammer get below you, there's a good chance you're getting grabbed, and that can result in taking a lot of damage. Now, Yumiko seems really Sig friendly. And like I said before, the best way to avoid Sigs is to be up in the air. And if you ever feel like you've been up in the air for too long, you haven't. Honestly, no amount of time is too much time to be jumping around in the air. It's always safer, it's always more fun, and once you get used to aerial combat, a lot of this game becomes a lot easier to do. Now, as you can see, I'm focusing the Queen Nai a lot more than I'm focusing the Yumiko, sorry. Because the Queen Nai is just frankly a lot more of a threat than the Yumiko. So ideally I get her dead as soon as possible. Because then it will be so much easier to deal with the Yumiko, especially since she will no longer have a teammate to help. And you want to try and save those dodges. If you saw I kind of dodged at a very late point in time there, you want to try and save your dodges for right before you get back up onto the platform. Because if you use them too soon, then, you know, your enemy is just going to know that you've exhausted your dodges, and they're going to take full advantage of that. Okay. Now the Queen Nai is on her last stop. So again, I'm really just trying to kill this Queen Nai here. Because then a lot of that, you know, a lot of those really annoying to deal with Sigs are just gone. Okay, now that the Queen Nai's dead, the whole focus can be the Yumiko, and with 1 life left, it should be a lot easier to deal with. Obviously I'm on red, so I need to be a bit more passive than I usually would here. Just be patient, use your dodges properly, and make sure that you get as many punishes as you can. Now, the Yumiko tried way too hard to get that kill, and she left herself completely open, giving me a complete advantage in that fight. And really, a lot of this game is you're just looking for that advantage, and once you find it, it's really easy to take advantage of. So we'll play one more. I'm gonna focus up a bit more on this one, so there may be a little less communication. I'll try and play more with gauntlets because I have been very much favouring hammer. So hopefully I can show you a couple things on gauntlets. As you can see, it's Taros inside Roland. Taros is very scary. Taros has a lot of strength. Any opportunity you get to avoid a signature move from Taros, you should take. Okay, so I didn't need to let him get back up there, but because I did, he, you know, he's alive. I very easily could have killed him there. You just need to, you know, control that ledge, control the space, and then you know, you can get a lot of picks off the edge if you're just below them, especially with a grabbing weapon like gauntlets. Getting below someone in this game will always be an advantage, because it's a lot harder to attack people below you than it is to attack people above you. So I'm really just trying to get below this Sir Roland as much as possible. I'm trying to close that distance as much as possible. I don't want to give him any room to start spamming his signatures. Same with this Taros, really. And you see, I now know that signature there, that's going to be a favourite of his. So I now know that I need to spend a lot more time up in the air to potentially avoid it. Of course, I'm not going to avoid it every time, that just isn't realistically possible. But I can know what he's aiming for. And because I know what he's aiming for, it makes it a lot easier to kind of avoid him and corral him into a situation that I have the advantage in. And as you can see, I'm below him again. Especially with something like hammer, you will always have the advantage when you're below someone else. And there you go. And that's the game. Again, any questions, anything you're curious about, feel free to ask. I will happily answer. And I'll see y'all in the next one.